Hall of Famer Jim Palmer in the MASN broadcast booth. And Jim, do the Orioles get a break with Felix Hernandez and James Paxton on the disabled list?
Well, I think they do with Paxton. He was 12-3. I mean, his ERA is what, a 2.69 ERA. The second, I think, the month of July into August was, under 2 runs a game. So big lefty. It's always tough when somebody throws 95 to 97 with a big swooping curveball. So he's out with a pectoral problem. Felix hasn't been Felix really since last year. Last year he had a calf problem. Here he had shoulder bursitis early in the year. Took some time off. Reading the day, he hadn't even started throwing again. He's back on the disabled list. So again, maybe, I don't think you ever, say, hey, you're looking to face Felix Hernandez, but he hadn't really been the same. He's a totally different pitcher. And then, with Yovani Gallardo, I look at him and, I look at all his numbers now. He's 5-7 with an ERA of over 5.5 runs a game. So it's not like he's pitched well. But we know that if he throws strike one, he doesn't always do that. All of a sudden becomes a different pitcher. So we'll kind of see how that plays out tonight.
Jim, it's kind of interesting how Gallardo's been used in Seattle. He started out as a starter. He's been in the bullpen and now back as a starter, almost out of a need because of that disabled list for the Mariners.
Well, yeah, but he also only gave up 1 run in 11 innings when he sent him to the bullpen. So he had like 3 starts out there. They got him in the game very quickly, something they couldn't do with Chris Tillman. We saw Tillman yesterday, but he sat around for, 10 days? But anyway, Scott Service was able to get him in. Then he had about a week off. He pitched well again, so he's back in the rotation. And, his velocity's up this year. So, his sliders in the upper 80s last year, that would pretty much be his fastball. Had all kinds of shoulder problems. So, you'd like to think, as Rick Dempsey said, that you have an edge because Gausman, he really made one mistake in Anaheim, Wednesday afternoon. He tried to come in on C.J. Cron, who's red hot. He had a home run that turned the game from 2-1 to 4-1, but he's been pitching great, went 4-0 in July. But I thought yesterday the Orioles had the advantage until Oakland was able to have the 5-run inning. And Demper touched on something very important. Both of the losses in Oakland, the defense made a kind of critical plays. There was a pop fly that didn't get caught on Friday night. And then yesterday, Chris Davis made a great play to catch a ball, made a bad decision going home. And it ended up with a 5-run inning, 3-run home run by Matt Chapman. So hopefully that won't happen up here. I'm looking at these lineups and watching these guys hit guys. It reminded me, some of the Red Sox Tiger lineups I had to face. They got a nice offensive club up here.
Jim, how come Kevin Gausman's pitched so much better over the last 5 starts?
Well, how about strike one, low and away, pitching to both sides of the plate. When he does that, he can use the splitter. He's actually done a nice job of mixing up both of them. I think early on when he won 5 in a row till he lost the other day in Anaheim. So all of a sudden, you think he's a confident guy. I think if we had said to Kevin, here's the deal. We want you to come out of spring training. You have to be our #1 guy because of the injury to Tillman. We really want you to pitch poorly. I don't think he could have pitched as poorly as he did because the numbers were just, they were shocking because he's much better than that, and he showed that. This is the 2nd straight year where he's, started out early. His record's at 8-8 now, and, he started at one point he was 5-7. Last year he was 2-8. Made a nice comeback. Didn't get over 500, but this year he's been able to do it. Hopefully he'll give the Orioles a good start tonight. He'll go to 9-8, and the Orioles will win the first game. They lost 4 in a row last year when they were playing real well because of Seth Smith. So the good thing is Seth Smith, he's playing tonight for the Orioles, not for the Mariners.
Well, Jimmy, we always appreciate your comments. Look forward to listening to you during the first game of the 3-game series.